Hello and welcome to the Forza Alliance Faircast. I'll be your host, Swkoll, and today we're looking at a Round 3 semi-final game of the last-minute tourney between Blackheart and Voodoo. This is the third time I've tried casting this. It hasn't been going good. There's a bit of problem with this replay, a bit into it, but I think it definitely justifies it. I have his open palms. Both players choosing UEF. Because they can, that's just how good they are. Voodoo gonna go ahead getting 6 pigeons, then a second air, which means he will go to the Hydro. Blackheart getting his 5 pigeons, which means he'll have to go to the Hydro a bit quicker. And first Mech Marine coming up from Voodoo. There's also a third Mech Marine. We look at Voodoo's factory, a heck of a lot of Mech Marines. It's only up to 6 Mech Marines from Voodoo. Hoping to keep Blackheart on the defensive and not have to build tanks for himself. We'll see if that works out. First Mech Marine going to try to deny this Hydro Engineer. And the second one going to pick up this Engineer going around the curve. But a tank from Blackheart comes down immediately next to that Engineer. And that Mech Marine will get cleaned up just before it gets to its target Engineer. Blackheart immediately sends his tanks this way. Voodoo, seeing that tank group, sends his Mech Marine over to the left. Jengen's mind to try to pick off this Engineer. Meanwhile, Hydros get completed. Blackheart slightly ahead in the Hydro due to all those Mech Marines. And Voodoo with more Mech Marines heading left and right, forward and backwards. Blackheart getting his air factory slightly faster along with this Hydro. And his AC was a slightly bit ahead. Let's see if Voodoo can do something more with these more Mech Marines. Scouts come off from Blackheart. He does see another Mech Marine group coming out, and it looks like this poor Freshie, he never stood a chance. And Voodoo scouting directly into Blackheart's base with the Snoop. Although that will get cleaned up with the Striker. And he goes straight ahead into the fight. But then again, it's still cleaned up. Mech Marine almost gets this Engineer, but Engineer proves to be slightly too fast. And Voodoo's attention is elsewhere, microwing everything simultaneously. Blackheart slightly ahead on the factory production. 3 Mech Marines still remain for Voodoo. Though this one tries doing some tank micro, or some Mech Marine micro, somewhat successful. And a Snoop Mech Marine. The Snoop should be able to kite the other Snoop and make that tank go blind. Blackheart now takes air control. Into 4 in the air fight. Which means Blackheart will respond by getting a transport out. Tank chasing the Mech Marine, but without a scout, the Mech Marine should be able to go wherever it wants. It looks like it will fall back to this position. We're just getting mexes and then a later point defense. As Voodoo is very aggressive with this commander, Blackheart a little less so. We're planning to go after these 2 mexes, isolate that expansion. It's really one of 2 choices. You can either try to be aggressive, you can defend this, or you can attack this expansion. In a minor tank fight, Blackheart should be able to win that. See if he can do anything with it. And Voodoo continues to roll, now denying mass extractors from Blackheart. Voodoo with a huge mex advantage. He's already got both of his expansions, while Blackheart he barely has either one of them. And Voodoo with some impressive tank micro will win these tank fights. Hello, person. Now Blackheart ready with the drops. Voodoo's AC closing in. Now a push from Voodoo, trying to send tanks to assist his ACU, but at the same time might lose his expansion. He still has his Engineer in the back. Voodoo up to 6 kills already. It's going to get a lot higher. Voodoo continues to push forward. Expansion getting denied, but this isn't a huge deal. Voodoo still leads in the mass. Successful drop by Blackheart onto the edge. Actually, he's gonna drop right there. Voodoo at full health. 9 kills. Continues to push. Emergency PD going up from Blackheart. PD from Voodoo will not be completed. And now Voodoo takes air control after Blackheart has paused his air production. Actually, equal NT numbers. Continue pushing from Voodoo. And the unfortunate part of this is no one can get this replay to work except me. And for me, it only works up to about 10 more seconds. So I'll just, once that happens, if it happens, I'll go ahead and tell you how it ends. So it's not some of this early aggressive AC rush in this build, which Voodoo has found very effective, was worth sharing. Alright, it does end exactly this time. Not sure why. Not exactly sure how. The Blackheart, in his madness, decided against it. So essentially, Voodoo continues pushing, denies lots of power and factories and stuff. Then catches Blackheart's AC that's out of position because Voodoo wins the spam battle. All the spam gets directed to Blackheart. Blackheart dies. Voodoo moves on to the finals. Yay, Voodoo! Defeating Blackheart. Voodoo to regain some of his former glory. So thank you for watching this very short game. I don't know if it was worth casting, but I decided to do it anyway. So, good night!